Okay, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to make a graph in Desmos. So when your Desmos screen pops up, you need to make a table to input your data points, so Desmos will build a graph. So on the left side of the screen, look for this double arrow to open it. Once you open it, you have this screen. Now to make your graph, we need to build a table. You click on the plus, and we want to add a table. So click on table, and we have our x coordinates and our y coordinates. So I'm going to use our bat example like we did from Peyton's bat from Monday's class. So we knew the length was 5 inches and the wingspan was 14. So I'm just putting in the table from Monday's class. So this data might look familiar to you. Just inputting everything from the table. My x and y coordinates. Once I have that set, I'm ready to go. I'm zooming in and out using my mouse and the scroll wheel, and you can see my dots on my graph. And you remember that was the graph that was very close. So I want to change my scale. My scale isn't very good. I can drag everything around by holding down on the tool. If I click on this wrench here, I can change some things. I want to change my x-axis. I want to label the x-axis. And if you remember, the x-axis was the body length, and the y-axis was the wingspan. And that was a really critical things, right? Labeling our axis. And then I can change my range. So I don't need a negative body length because I don't have that. So I'm just going to change that to like -5, okay? And the body length, the biggest body length we have in our chart is 14. So I'll just put, excuse me, the biggest body length we have is 5. So I'm just going to put 7. Okay, and I can change that as much as I want. For the y-axis, that's the wingspan. Again, the wingspan can't be less than 0, so I'll just make it -3. And the longest wingspan I have, if I look over here, is 14. So like the example we did in class, I'll put 20. And I'll start with that, and I'll see if I like what it shows me. When I click back into the graph, I can see my points here on the graph, and it looks pretty good. If I want to tweak or adjust more things, maybe I have too much negative showing here, I can adjust that. I go back to my wrench. My x-axis, I don't need -5. I'll change that to -3. Okay? Or maybe even smaller, maybe -1. And you can see my graph is changing every time I manipulate it. Actually, I want -1. Now this is looking better. When I click back into it, I can see my graph. I can start to see points. I can change my dots. If I want to change the color of my dots, if I click over here on the left, it makes them disappear. If I want to change the color, if I go back in here, I believe I can change the color of the dots. Oops. If I hold on to this, if I long press this button, I can change the color of my dots. So that might be helpful. I can also add a line if I want to have a line. A couple other things that I can do, okay? But I'll leave that as it is. So now I have my points. I've got my table on the left side. I've got my axes labeled, the body length, and I got my wingspan, okay? So we need a table to build a graph. Again, scaling axes, you come in here in the wrench, and I can change my scale here. You can also play around with the step count to see how many little tick marks are between each unit on your grid, and I'll let you play around with that. All right, hopefully that helps.